Well, hello, all of my crafty friends. Today I am here with the If You Dare YouTube hop that is sponsored by Clair, and I'm going to be using this If You Dare stamp set today to make a fun, non-scary type of Halloween it's not a card. It's going to be a gift bag for you today. So today I have gone into Cricut Design Space and I've cut out this little label and I'm going to make a RSVP tag with the stamp set. I'm trying to use some really fun colors. So I'm going to bring in this Audrey Blue from Simon Says Stamp and I'm going to stamp this out on that label. And because we were going for a really non-scary theme, I wanted to use pretty and bright colors for this. So now we're going to bring in this skull and I'm going to bring in another color from Simon Says Stamp. This is the hydrangea color and I'm going to stamp that out as well onto this label. Once I get that stamped out, I'm just going to take one of the sentiments that says Spooktastic and I'm going to stamp that down at the bottom with that same hydrangea ink. Once I get that done, I'm going to bring in a second label and that's going to go on the other side of our little gift tag. I'm going to use this headstone that comes in the stamp set. I'm going to continue with the same color scheme that we were working on using that hydrangea first, and I'm going to stamp this out. Now I did have to stamp this twice just because it's a large image and I had not stamped this image before. And it's one of those really rustic looking headstones. And then I'm going to use this little grass piece with the hand that comes up out of the ground. And I'm going to use that Audrey Blue to stamp that out. Now, once I get that stamped out, I'm then going to take the other sentiment that says party. And I'm going to stamp that 3 times in that Audrey Blue ink. Now the sentiment stamped out really nice with this Simon Says Stamp ink. Typically when I'm doing sentiment stamps, I would use my VersaFine Onyx Black because it gives a very crisp impression. But this worked out really well and gave a really nice and crisp impression for these sentiments, especially with the font that was used to create them. So I used that to put this on the label 3 different times just to fill in some of the spaces and to try to make a really cutesy type of tag, although it is Halloween themed. So this is what we come up with for that part of it. I went ahead and I cut out the pieces for a little gift box, and you can see I made score lines on 3 sides. It's 1 1/4, and then on the 4th side it's at 1 inch, and then I did some little slits on the bottom of each of those. And I'm going to take you through really quickly. I used the Brutus Monroe paper pack to make this. The first thing I'm going to do is fold over at the 1 inch mark, and this is going to make the flap on the box. Then I'm just going to go through and I'm going to fold on all of my other score lines and get those bended very well. And then the next thing that we're going to need after we get all of the score lines folded on the next side of the box is to bring in some of our score tape. This is a very simple and easy box that can be made as a cute gift bag idea or a way of giving an invitation to someone for maybe one of your Halloween or other themed parties. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to bring in that 1/8 inch score tape, and at the 1 inch mark I am going to put that score tape over so that I can seal that down on one of the sides. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take that same score tape and all along the bottom edge, I am going to put 3 strips of tape, and then I'm going to do it on the edges as well. Now, I did not make the score tape go from one end to the other just because I didn't want to have any issues with it bending. You could if you wanted to, but I just wanted to err on the side of caution and not have to do this multiple times. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm releasing all of the score tape edges. Now I'm going to bring in my other piece and I'm going to butt this up at the score line on the other side, and that's going to create the bottom fold. Now I'm going to bring up the sides and I'm I'm going to seal in those other two flaps, and that's going to create the first side of our box. Now, once we get that done, those two flaps that are folded inward, I'm going to go ahead and place some score tape on those. On each side, I just placed 2 small pieces of score tape on each side, and then I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to put score tape on the edges again. Now this time I'm going directly from top to bottom. I'm going all the way along the edge because this is what I'm going to use to seal down that other 1-inch flap on the alternate side. That was the reason why I did not go ahead and score tape that other 1-inch flap when I did the first one on the other side of the box. So I'm going to do that on the other side, just placing score tape on either edge, top to bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to release all of this score tape, and we are going to go ahead and put the rest of the box together. Now I'm folding this in on itself and laying it flat, and then I'm going to go ahead and take all of the score tape off again, off of each side. Now, once I get that taken off, I'm going to push in my flaps and bring my box up. And I'm going to line the edges up as best as I can on either side. And then once I get it lined up, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to push down the flaps on the inside. Once that's done, your box is pretty much created. And now we can work on putting our pieces on the front of the box. So this RSVP tag, I did cut out another tag that's a little bit larger to make a little bit of a border around it with some silver cardstock. I just thought that it would give it a nice pop of color. And I used my score tape again to back that just to make sure that it had a very secure adhesion. Then I'm going to take my 3M foam tape and I'm going to go all over the back of that just because I thought that it would give a little bit of dimension to the box. And that's what I'm going to use to adhere the actual label to the front and the back of the box. So once I get done with that, I'm going to go ahead and center that on the front of the box. And this is what we come up with. Then we're going to go to the back of the box and I'm going to do the exact same thing, just with the second label. I am going to provide a border with that silver cardstock, and then I'm going to use my 3M foam tape again to go all across the back of this label piece, and that's going to pop up on our other side. So we'll have one side that's kind of the RSVP side, and then one side that just has a little fun and playful sentiment of party, party, party for the other side of the box. So this is what we come up with on the second side. Now that I have this done, I am going to bring in a very old tool. I'm going to bring in a crocodile. I think this is probably the second time that I've used it since it's been in my craft room, and I've had it since I started crafting. I'm going to use the 1/8 inch side, and I'm going to punch a hole on either side, and then I'm going to use some twine with my reverse tweezers to place some twine inside of each one of those holes. I'm going to double knot that, and then I am going to loop it in on the other side, and I'm going to double knot it, and that will ensure that our little bag has a nice little handle and we don't have to worry about anything falling apart. So once I get done with that, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that tight and get my little craft snips, and then I can snip that off, and that will make our little handle for our bag. So this is a cute and fun and quick project that you guys can do for Halloween or for whatever time of the year you want, that does not take a lot of time and it doesn't take a lot of effort. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys will hop along with us for the rest of our If You Dare Hop. Have a great day.